So Erick Sermon's dropping a Dynamic Duos album. It's supposed to be packed with features, tons of features. But is it a recipe for success or a disaster waiting to happen? Now, you got to remember how things are perceived now with the OGs, and everybody don't land the same way. So Erick Sermon is finally making good. He made a promise about 10 years ago about making this project, a passion project designed to put hip hop's most iconic collaborators on the same record. The lineup is pretty crazy. It's got Nate Dogg, Biggie, Tupac, Mobb Deep, Clips.
A lot of dead people, huh?
Yeah, that's what stands out to me. But yeah, keep going. My bad.
Yeah, let's get to this.
I really.
Hey man,
I'm just saying, like
he said whatever else.
But
I
know what he's saying, though. I know what he's saying.
I mean, Sean Price is on there too. I'm just saying.
So it's Wayne, P, Styles P, Jada, Jay Electronica, The Game, UGK, Public Enemy, 38 Special, Conway the Machine. I see Meth on here, Sean Price, Freeway, PD Crack, even the Dog Pound, Cypress Hill, Snoop. These all been confirmed features on this project. Now, to your point, it's a lot of that. What you said, I agree.
This is
a lot of brokered beats.
See, that's that's exactly.
Verses.
Man, that's the first thing that came to my mind. It's like this sounds like one of them brokered albums, and I hope it's not.
And y'all beat me to it because I know that's what you were thinking. For the people who
aren't alive, that's definitely what it is.
Yeah. So check this out. Considering Erick Sermon's history, in the current hip hop landscape, does this concept of dynamic duos, the album, does it feel timely and relevant, or is it a nostalgic play that might fall flat?
If
you had to take a pick.
It's a nostalgic play that has a very, very much a chance of falling flat. I mean, I did hear some names on there, like, I hear 38 Special, I hear, some of the names from Griselda. That's something that I can get excited about. I don't want to hear any more Notorious B.I.G. verses in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Okay. And that's just.
I don't want to hear no Tupac either.
I don't want to hear that. I mean, I want to. If they didn't sign off on it, at this point, both of those men have been dead longer than they've been alive. Longer than the time they've been alive, which is sad when you think about it. But we have to honor their legacy, but we do have to. We got to move on.
They've been gone damn near 30 years.
Yeah.
They died in 96 and 97.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's sometimes it's just hard for me to listen to records I feel like are pieced together. I feel like there are so many people here who are still alive. So when I hear Cypress Hill, I hope that's Be Real and Send Dog are in the studio together.
That's true.
After I'm not sure what they're doing in individual lives. I know Be Real's got a podcast. Just like everybody else.
Everybody does.
But it's so hard to get people, life be lifing. Sometimes it's hard for Eric and Parrish to get down together, even to get a check. So I think the nostalgia play, it's great for some of this, but some of it is like, man, let's just let our legends rest and let's continue to make art with people who are here. I think there's just too many people who are here for us to be continually pulling at licensed verses or reusing a Biggie verse from a B-side. I just don't want to hear none of that. I don't know. There are some people who probably feel very differently. They'll take whatever from Notorious B.I.G. Like I remember, like Faith Evans put out a record called The King and I, which is all her singing and Biggie verses. And I just, I love both of them. I love Faith Evans, but I just wasn't here for it.
Yeah.
So I can be excited because I'm a fan of Erick Sermon. I've always, I love EPMD. I love his individual solo work, but I'm more excited to hear people I haven't heard in a while, and people like Styles P who are still out here grinding and doing their thing. The nostalgia play with people who aren't here anymore. That's the only thing about this that perhaps turns me off. And like I said, I may be the only one, but that's how I feel.
Lone, I want to ask you. I'm going to flip it for you. What concerns you more? Piecing together dat tape verses and whatever this might be, or the production? The how the production matches with what they're doing. Because one of these has a potential to be very bad, or maybe both. And we talking about one of our favorite producers. I know how you get down with Erick Sermon.
Sure.
But what scares you the most about this project in terms of those two sides?
I just don't like the piece together.
Just as a whole.
It's just like,
yeah.
Now look, my ear is different. Your ear is different. Our ear is different, right? Not everybody, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to hear this. And, you know, look, there are a lot of YouTube channels that put out for a long time. They would put out, you know, Tupac featuring Kanye West, you know, and people would be like, man, this is dope. And not even realizing that it's somebody else's beat and it's splicing these things together, right? I see that immediately. I'm like, dislike.
Yeah, well, you know, also, I know you're somebody who can hear the difference in how the vocals are engineered.
Sure. That as well. You know, like, so I guess when I listen to this, I'm like, no, this is not what, when we say we want our legends to come back strong and to make music in this is not what we say. This is not what we're asking for. I'm asking for, again, this is me, right? But I'm asking for Erick Sermon to do records with Mick Jenkins and do records with Joey Badass and to do records with Method Man and Redman because they're still making music and to make music with people that are still Ghostface and, you know, legends that are at that time. I don't want to hear no Biggie's verse from 1996 on some new Erick Sermon production. You know, let the legends rest. Let the legends live in their how they should live. You know what I mean? Like some of these songs, maybe they're new, but the contrast of what the new is going to sound like versus what the old is going to sound, it's going to sound old, man.
You'll be able to hear.
It's setting himself up to fail, in my opinion. And like, just, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. No. And I hope that I'm wrong. When I say maybe I'm wrong, maybe he'll prove me wrong. And I hope that he does.
I'm with you on the I hope I'm wrong, but I agree with everything that you said. Yeah. Go ahead, jump in.
It's just an outdated model, man. It's like, I don't want to hear the Biggie duets again because even how that was matched up. And there was actually some cuts on there. But at that point in time, I'm still a recovering Biggie fan. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan that just lost one of the artists that I looked up to. The same way with Pac. All the stuff that came out with Pac, some of it I couldn't get into because it wasn't mastered. So it's like, I don't even want to listen to that. I know he didn't authorize it, but that Outlaws album was fire.
Are you still down?
Are you still no,
those are two separate albums.
No, you're thinking of Still I Rise.
Yeah. Still I Rise.
Oh, I'm sorry. Still I Rise.
Yeah, Still I Rise. Are You Still Down it sounded like it wasn't a Pac album. Again, there was some cuts on there. But it wasn't a Pac album. A lot of these artists just aren't what I'm checking for as far as an old verse that's being recycled and pieced together with somebody else. I think we even had brought up a conversation with Mass Appeal dropping another, was it a Mobb Deep project?
Yeah.
Big L.
Big L.
Yeah, Big L.
Big L.
I think what's his name from Mobb Deep? Havoc is dropping an album on there. But like even Big L, like I don't need to hear Big L right now. I mean, what he's talking about isn't relevant to today's time. And that's not saying that he doesn't have anything to say, but at that point in time, we were listening to it back then. It made so much more sense than to try to drop it now, and then maybe even add an AI flip on top of it to make it sound like it's current. I don't want to hear stuff like that. Now, if he wants to drop an album, like you said, with these newer artists, take the Alchemist route. Alchemist has remained relevant through what were we on 3 or 4 decades now,
right?
As far as him being able to consistently produce at a high level and stay with the artists that are coming up in that level, that era. I mean, so I feel like Erick should be able to do the same thing, and this is just an outdated situation that it just doesn't work anymore. Nobody's buying physical copies. Are you going to do is stream these songs? And of course, you're not going to be upset. He's not in a position to where it's going to make or break him if this isn't successful.
Oh no, he's straight.
But at the same time, it's just like, I'm kind of cool on that old method of putting things out.
You know, the crazy thing is not really crazy, but this is still 5-6 years ago, which was still a lot of time far removed from, us losing the Notorious B.I.G. There was something that was kind of retrofitted with, Diddy and Rick Ross. And when
the Biggie duets.
No, this is something after that.
Oh.
And I think it was, they took the verse from You'll See, because they were able to take some of those mixtape songs and retrofit them. And it was just like, you hear Biggie, rapping about, pagers and VCRs in the Suburban, and it's like, like liquor we don't drink anymore, cars that we don't drive anymore, and it's like I just couldn't get into it.
Riding around in the Miata.
If anything, it just made me kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be one thing if they just like released an unreleased record from 1996, but to try to like release something brand new in 2025 is just.
I'd rather hear unreleased.
I don't want it.
Yeah, I don't want it, man. And to me, this is just not the look for Erick either. Like, I just feel.
There are plenty of new artists who would still love to work with Erick.
I feel like we've had this conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. This is like a forced situation to me.
That would be way more intriguing to me is to piece Erick Sermon up with some of these kids out here that are now
and he's
that
working
are popping
with some
now.
people,
Sure,
but still, it's
that would excite me because I know I have the faith in him that he can update it to make it sound good. Plus, some of the mixes that when you fuse two certain artists with him, that excites me.
Do a new Def Squad album,
something like that.
You know what I'm saying?
But again, to his point, the dynamic duos. The idea behind the album is to put hip hop's most iconic collaborators on the same record, and
that kind of tells you what it's going to be.
Yeah, right? Man. I'm honestly, I'm not interested.
A hodgepodge of mess.
Yeah, but if you said, okay, I got a new record with Redman and Keith Murray, I got a new song with Ghost and Ray, I got a new song with Be Real and Sen Dog. Okay, dope.
That's different.
But if you're talking about like I don't want those on the same project with things that are pieced together from some of the legends that we've lost, because it would make it, to me, it make it seem like it would be kind of disjointed. It would take me out of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish.
I would much rather hear Erick Sermon and Benny the Butcher do 8 records. I'd much rather hear that. Or Conway or whoever. Mick Jenkins, like Lone said, we just throwing names out there, but Currency, I don't care. I'd much rather hear that than, I guess, the idea of what this is going to be. But like
it's
I said,
almost like
I hope I'm wrong.
It's almost like Conway and them have become the poster child to go and get to try to make relevant. Like they were on the DMX album too.
True.
And the DMX album actually wasn't bad because I believe a lot of that was actually recorded before he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a situation to where they're just sitting on a whole bunch of music.
It's like Mac Miller's Balloonerism and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, I'm cool with that. Like even there was a Marvin Gaye album that came out a few years back that actually was recorded, but it was shelved because of the political kind of connotation behind it. And they finally released it like years and years later. That type of situation, like if it was actually recorded by the artist and all you did was remaster to kind of make it sound a little bit polished, but it's the exact same thing. I'm good with that. But when you're trying to manufacture this verse into what's going on today, I'm just cool on that.
But you know what? And now that you bring that up, this is where I'm going to shoot Erick Sermon a little bail. Not that he needs any from me.
Yeah.
When you bring up Marvin Gaye, hey, Erick Sermon did Just Like Music. Yeah.
Fire.
And crazy when I was to whoever, I know people get tired of me talking about when I worked in radio, but whatever. It is what it is. That's my life. There was actually a version of that music that didn't have Erick Sermon on it. It was just sounded like a new Marvin Gaye song because, if you worked at an urban AC station, they didn't want any kind of rap. They didn't care what context it was. So if he can make that work, maybe I can shoot him some bail on making this work.
Yeah, that was a solid piece for me. I still play that to this day.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know.
But again, it's not sticking a Biggie verse talking about pagers and Genesis and Super Nintendos and the Nautica Jeep and Van. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To me, it's not even about the music. Like I don't even care if it's good. I just don't want to hear it. Yeah, it's just like the principle of it. Like I just don't. I'm just not here for it.
It's all of it, man. It's like, and I can guarantee you, these aren't new verses from Biggie or Tupac that we've never heard.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way with Dilla stuff. Like if he's rapping, I don't need you to, put his verse on something.
Yeah.
Now, if there's unreleased beats that he's had, I wouldn't mind listening to it.
I would love,
but in the same time, it's not something that I'm gonna get excited for because you're just manufacturing it to try to make it make sense for now versus what it was when it was supposed to be out.
It's just like, let it live, man.
Yeah.
Let it live where it was supposed to live.